And switch things up here. We're gonna do the tier list rankings of the NFL teams, the best logos. I've been waiting to do this one for a while, so I'm excited. We're gonna be starting it with the Arizona Cardinals. I've never had a problem with their logo. Put in the A category. I've always kind of liked the Cardinal look. I like the red color scheme. It could be what doesn't put it could be an S if it was a bit more unique. Obviously, just kind of a cardinal, but I've never really had a problem with that logo. I think it's pretty nice. It's definitely one of the better logos. It's not like a great logo, but it does the job. Falcons, just gonna put them over here at B. Kind of bland. Um, Not the most to it. Once again, I like the color scheme. I like the Cardinals' color scheme slightly better. So that's why they're sitting at A, but it's not a bad logo. Um, Obviously, there's a lot more you can do with it, but it's right around in that B tier. Ravens actually have a pretty good logo, I will say. If you've looked at, they have the Super Bowl rings. They have a really good too, probably some of the best ones they got. But I like this logo because it incorporates the purple and the gold properly. If you look at the eye has a little bit of red on it. It's unique. Um, Definitely one of the better logos in the league. The Bills, it's nothing to write home about. It's going to be in the C category for me. It's just there's not much to it. Just pretty much a buffalo. I don't really like the blue that they incorporate in there too much. It's just kind of bland to me. Panthers, I've always kind of liked this logo. I thought it's had, Panther, obviously one of the kind of cooler mascots that you can pick, one of the cooler animals that you can kind of go with. And I like kind of how they incorporate the black and the blue. So that one's good. This one, obviously in the D tier, just, basic. It's just a C. Uh, you know, there's not much to the logo. I like it when they brought the bear into it, but they don't really use the bear anymore. They pretty much just use the C, pretty bland. Bengals, put this in. I'm gonna put this in the C tier because it's just a B. Now the previous logo they had when they had the Bengal tiger, that's an insane logo. I think their color scheme is one of the best too. But just to have a B doesn't really do it for me. Browns, obviously, this is probably the worst logo in the league. It's just a helmet. There's just not much to it. Cowboys. The only reason that I can put it here at B is just because of how iconic the logo is. Yeah, how iconic the logo is. It's going to boost that up into there, but it's pretty bland if you think about it. There's not really that much to it. If we're going here, Denver, I definitely like how they incorporate the Bronco into it. It's not just like a basic Bronco. It's pretty nice. The color scheme, once again, insane, but they could have been very bland with this, like it was when they originally became the Broncos. They've made it pretty nice. Detroit, they're going to be put in the B. I like their new logo is well superior than the old logo they had in the 90s, but it could still use some work. I like the color scheme on it. It's pretty solid. Green Bay, you know, I want to put this in B, but if I put the Cowboys in B, I got to put them in B. It's an iconic logo. That's part of the reason why it gets the boost for me. But obviously, it's just a G. But it's one of those logos where, I mean, if you see that, you're going to know anybody, even people that don't know about football, they're going to know exactly what that is. So that's pretty good. This Texans, pretty underrated. Texans have a pretty underrated logo. I like the way that they do the thing with the ball. It's pretty nicely put in there. It's going to be A tier for me. Colts, I'll put it at C because it's not the worst. It's not as bad as the Bears or the Browns, but it's just kind of there's just not really much to it. It's just that, and the Colts. Colts is like, I think it's the mascot would be like a young, like female horse, so they can make this thing a lot cooler. The Jags, probably in the A tier. Really nice. Jaguar, one of the cooler, animals that you can choose. That's why I put them there. Kansas City, I actually really like this logo. It's just they've made they get points for the uniqueness with the arrow. I like the arrowhead technique with it. They kind of put it in a nice. Is it S tier though? I might come back. Right now it's S tier, but I'll come back to it. The Chargers, pretty basic logo, B tier, not much to it. The Rams logo, it's gonna go in C. I like how they incorporate kind of the ram hook at the end, but this logo could be a lot cooler. You could put an actual ram on there. Once again, one of the cooler animals that you can use in sports team. So they need to be doing more than just putting an L and an A just with a little hook. The Raiders always kind of had a sweet spot for this logo. It's just tradition. It's very traditional. There's a lot to it. The color scheme is pretty bland, but if you get away from that, it's a pretty good logo. Dolphins, I like the Dolphins logo in A tier. Just a nice overall logo. Incorporates the dolphin, incorporates the sunshine of Miami. Good logo. I do have the Vikings in S tier. Just really good logo. It's unique. You're able to get like you have a picture of what your team's actually about. That's why I like it there. Patriots is another S tier. Just really good logo. Incorporates what the team's about. Really good. The Saints are going to be an A for me. It is a really good logo. The way they put it together, the color scheme's insane. Very close to an S. Very close to being an S tier. This is going to get D tier. Most boring. One of the most boring logos in football as well. Just an N and a Y. Doesn't do it for me. The Jets. The Jets will get a little higher just because it's like an actual, like, there's a football and the green. So that's why that'll go there. We'll go A tier for the Eagles. Steelers is an S tier, and I am going to move this down. It doesn't quite compete with those guys. Doesn't quite compete with those guys. But Steelers, obviously, just very traditional logo. Like I said, Kansas City, they're really close. It's just they're not these. Seahawks, love that logo. Always have. When I was a kid, that was my favorite logo in the league. Just really cool scheme with it's just a bird, but like they made a really cool scheme with it. San Francisco, it's gonna get C tier. It's not quite bad enough to be D tier, but it's still pretty bad. The Bucks, I actually don't mind their logo, but let me see. We'll put it at A. Put it at the last one in A. It's pretty solid. Commander, I don't like anything that they did with their new logos. That's why that's going to go there. Tennessee, it's got some uniqueness to it, so it'll go A tier. But yeah, that's pretty much the list. Between which logo would be the best, if there was a tier above S, it'd probably be the Patriots and the Steelers. But, yep, that's the breakdown of